keep me alive, though still I long for the other side. Keep me awake, oh, keep me alive. Still I long for the other side. Keep me awake, keep me alive, though still I long for the other side. Keep me awake, oh, keep me alive. Still I long for the other side. Alive or decayed, it makes no difference to me. Eyes wide for the day, until the shadows hang their weights. Alive or decayed, it makes no difference to me. Eyes wide for the day, until the shadows hang their weights. Keep me awake, keep me alive, though still I long for the other side. Keep me awake, oh, keep me alive. Still I long for the other side. Keep me awake, keep me alive, though still I long for the other side. Keep me awake, oh, keep me alive. Still I walk towards the other side. Alive or decay, it makes no difference to me. Eyes wide for the day, until the shadows hang their weights. Alive or decayed, it makes no difference to me. Eyes wide for the day, until the shadows hang their weights. Until the shadows hang their weights. Until the shadows hang their weights.
Superman, what's up, dude?
How you doing?
Great, as you know, and I know that you know the same things I know.
I know a lot of the things that you know,
And
especially
that's
in the
what
past
makes you super.
30 minutes that I've known you.
Hey, let's start that conversation where I was saying we'll save it. The Superman one.
All right.
Well, come on, your name's Superman legally.
Legal first name, yes.
Yeah. And it's funny that you would say it that way. Like when I met you, you're like, that's my first name legally. Like you must say that often, huh?
Yeah, often enough to where I need to say legally, because that's usually...
People are like, why is your name Superman?
Yeah.
Me personally, you didn't even have to convince me. I just let people be what they want to be.
I loved how accepting you are of that, too. Like, you're just like, oh, okay. Hey, Superman.
Then you're like, legally. And I'm like, okay. I don't know, dude. What's up? You were saying you're from here and also the South at the same time?
I wouldn't say I'm from the South. Wow, that sounds...
Yeah, dude, I told you, take the headphones
That's intense.
off.
That's
Take
really
the headphones
intense.
You get in your own head, and musicians, they hear themselves. There's something tricky about that for us.
That is. That was really weird. That was cool at the same time, though. Yeah, no, I'm not from... I wouldn't say I'm from the South. Like, I was born, raised in Washington. I went to Indiana for, 2 years or so. I went from Indiana to Kentucky for boarding school, and then I went back to Indiana. But then I came back to Washington because, this is my home. This is where everybody I know is, and I had no interest in Indiana. But not to say I don't like it as a state. It's just, it's not for me. You know what I mean?
Well, you're in a metal band, and you got... What are those things called in your...
Oh, they're called gauges?
Gauges.
Yeah.
What is badass about them? Though I like them.
What is badass about gauges? That's a good question. There's holes in my ear. It feels pretty metal. I've never thought to answer that question, but what is badass about gauges? I don't know. I guess I just like piercings. I used to have nipple rings. I had a labret. Yeah, I just like piercings in general. And
How does
like,
it feel like to get it, the thing? Like, how do they do it?
how do they do it?
Oh, they probably put in like a tube, so that, and slowly at a time it's expanding.
No, how you actually do it
fillers,
is
or-
it starts out as a regular piercing, like, you know, small, like a 16 gauge is like
Yeah.
the smallest piercing, and then you just slowly grow the hole. You slowly
That's
go
what I
up
was
in
saying.
sizes.
Just put something bigger in it, right? And
Oh, I thought you were saying like they take a big tube and just
no,
kind of
no, like it slowly it gets bigger, it develops into a big tube. But you start with a piercing, and then you probably put like a small tube in there and leave it there, and then gradually increase the size.
Yeah. You take like so when you say tube, are you talking about piercings?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, you would. I wouldn't say tube. You would just pretty much like you get bigger gauges. Yeah, until you finally, you know, get to the size you want or whatever.
My vocabulary is not where I would like it to be.
Oh, that's okay.
Wow.
My vocabulary is terrible. So are my math skills. That's why I play music.
Hey, I'm gonna say that my math skills are all right.
They're all right. That's good.
Yeah, I'm not bad with math. I don't think I ever was, but like in grade school, I never really like those real math people. Like they're like, I don't know, I don't relate to them very much. You know what I mean? Like the people that go into just fields of math.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an artist and I relate more with you guys and all that.
I
I don't
imagine
got the gauges.
They're more like robotic almost.
Not necessarily. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I could be wrong. Because I've also met like, I don't know if the term is correct, but acousticians or something like that.
Acousticians.
Yeah, hold on, dude. My friend wants to come over today. That'd be awesome. Jordan. Dude, I'm doing a podcast right now with this really cool guy. Were you like here or what? Like in Seattle? Oh, really? I'll just call you back when the podcast is over. Alright, man, bye.
Bye, Jordan.
I met him through doing this too, dude. One day we were walking around Pike Market and busking, trying to make a buck, and just walking around trying to get someone to do the podcast too. Talked to so many people and musicians actually, and they didn't want to do it. And I don't know. I guess people think that I'm gonna record them and then sell the recordings. And it's like, do you know that's not legal? First of all, and second of all, like if I sold the recordings, I would have to give you half the profit. That's just the way the law is.
Yeah.
Not only that, it's on the internet though. You like transparency is there, unlike in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like there ain't no. Actually, I was watching. Did you have Netflix?
I do.
Dude, you should watch The Get Down.
To get down?
It's about It's about the beginnings of hip hop, you know, and Grandmaster Flash scene in New York, and it's just awesome. I don't know if you know anything about that, but like, basically, well, you know, he invented the what is it called?
Turntables?
Yeah, he invented that.
Really?
Yeah. He was kind of like an engineer, actually, because he was actually inventing things and making machineries to do things like that. And then, if I'm not mistaken, I understood that he also invented, like, the more modern version that where, like, you can take the original record, play it off there, and I don't know if I guess that probably takes lasers, and then, but use another record, like a dummy duplicate, so you don't scratch the original one. He used to he would take a crayon, and he would mark a line through the at certain spots where he knew where the beat was. You know what I mean? So he was counting the thing. He's not just feeling it. Like, how do you do that? He's literally counting the rotations, and he's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and he takes it. You know what I mean? Dude,
that's really cool.
Anyway, so you should watch that show, dude. It's so good, and it's super real. Like, it's like, well, it's New York, and because it's Netflix, you know, it ain't censored.
Yeah.
You know, it's cool. It's really
I'm
cool.
all about any documentary about music.
So it's not even a
regardless.
documentary. It's like a documentary because it's pretty close to the way things happened.
Yeah.
I think. So I've been told from actual musicians.
Kind of like Straight Outta Compton, where it's not like a documentary, but it's like kind of based on.
It's a
true
show,
events.
but it's like it's just so fucking great.
Oh, okay.
I loved it. But I'm a musician.
I love those kind of things no matter what genre or anything, really.
Me too.
Because, like, I mean...
Any genre. Blues, metal, I just watch, like, stuff about artists and musicians. It might not even be the type of art that I even practice. It might not even be music. Like, if there's somebody getting good at something, I'm probably going to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense, because artists, you know... Art's cool because it can be anything, you know. It's not just like, oh, I'm an artist but only a musician. Like, no matter what you do, we're all artists. It depends on how much we want to like limit ourselves to like our own imagination, I guess. Like, an imagination is pretty much what art is. It's
creation.
Yeah, it's creation. It's
engineers are super creative too, man.
And engineers are like I thought engineers were the people who just like. They mix and record. Like, if you go to recording engineer...
That's what they started calling them that, because that was the trade. But back then it was, from what I know, back then it was that the mixing consoles and recording equipment and the rooms and all that stuff didn't exist.
Yeah.
It started existing when people started making them.
Uh-huh.
They were engineers that were making the things. And like I said, that's kind of like where that's what separates the engineer from the art form. Like I use these tools, and to me, I take recording really seriously, and I do think of it as like an art, like what you're doing with your equipment. But I'm not an engineer.
Yeah.
I don't make the microphones or the recording equipment or put together the anything really.
Yeah.
They're the engineers, but that's the way it started with them, and then they were the ones originally recording. You know what I mean? Like, they were doing the craft because they were, or they were the engineers because they wanted to do the craft. I don't know. I wasn't around, but even along the line, you didn't have to make your own recording equipment anymore. Like, I don't have to.
They just utilize the tools that they came up with, essentially. Right. Gotcha.
So, yeah, that's where the engineer part came from. When I was living in Boston, I always really liked the MIT kids. They're cool. Really creative and really, chill, down-to-earth people.
Yeah.
Feel like there was a lot of acid going around through that school.
Well, now you were officially in the art community when that was going around.
Now what?
You were in the art community when everybody's doing acid, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess what you're saying, like, the people I surround myself around?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I'm surrounded by artists, but I also just feel like I don't almost all of them were also artists. That's what was really cool about MIT kids. Like, they really are really smart, and I went to a couple of their dorms and stuff like that, and they had like all the walls, all of them just painted with psychedelic images everywhere, like neon glowing, and they all did that. Like, they're just artists, and they had like a room where everyone just does music. Everyone was really nice to each other. Like, I've gone into some of the buildings, and people there's like a lot of them are artists.
Yeah.
Oh, she was tearing up the bed over there. This is my dog. Hey, stop it, Sky. Don't do that.
I'm glad we're doing this because, like, I was actually on 89.9 KGRG, like, last week.
Radio station?
Yeah, the Green River Community College radio station, and, like, I had my drummer do most of the talking because, like, man, I don't know how to talk on radio, so this is a good way to, like, kind of...
To actually get to know people. Like, it's like, you're just in my living room, man.
Just having a conversation, like, it's kind of nice. Just kind of get the experience, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like, I like it.
I hate listening back sometimes, though. But, I don't know. I don't want to listen that's back. Life, right? That's life. Like, no one's ever perfect, and people are always changing constantly. Or we were talking about this with some other person, that change is the only constant.
Yeah. Heard that in a song recently, too.
Yeah. Well, we were talking earlier, dude, about the city thing, or like why, like the anxiety thing that you're talking about right now.
Yeah.
I think this was this guy's idea too. His name is Ethos, or that's what he goes by.
Uh-huh.
He's a rapper, really good, smart dude. But he was saying that people are just mentally ill from living in cities, and I think there's probably something to that. something about like walking out and all the noise and all the chaos. Me, I kind of feel like I need it sometimes, you know, like I kind of miss the East Coast in that way. It's a little more rough around the edges, because here everyone's really polite, they're all smoking pot and driving real safe, you know. It's just not, I don't know, I like the hustle and bustle. I would live in New York. I think in the past maybe I've said that I wouldn't, but I think I would now. Just kind of a little edge, and I just like, I don't know, I guess it's like physics, right? You like the push and pull, you know, like whatever you. There's a podcast I was listening to today, and someone was, I mean, I can't find the words to say what I'm trying to say, but someone was trying to explain it, and they explained it better. His name is Joey Diaz. He has a podcast called The Church of What's Happening Now, and he said I pushed the tiger. He always comes up with funny like things that are true, because he's just like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a comedian, but he said I like to push the tiger. Like, what does that mean? But I kind of get it. Like, you know what I mean?
Push the tiger.
Yeah.
What would you say that means?
I think it means like it's kind of like push somebody's buttons, but the person that, or the buttons that you're pushing belong to a tiger, like a beast.
Is that kind of like saying don't poke the bear?
Kind of like that, but he turns it around and says do it, and instead of saying bear, he says tiger.
Gotcha.
Push the tiger. I thought it was real clever.
I like that one.
Right? I thought it was clever, and I was thinking about trying to write a song like that.
Don't poke the bear. I've never heard that.
You never heard that? Yeah.
That's a pretty common one.
Yeah.
You might have to pull up my nose real quick.
Oh, go ahead, dude.
Oh man, I love being sick. It's great. Oh, which one's the bathroom?
Right there down the middle.
Right there.
Yeah. It's like an old.
Sorry, I hope she wasn't being loud.
It's like an old wisdom, you know. Don't poke the
I
tiger.
get it, I just never heard it. Is it a West Coast saying?
If you're gonna talk, sit beneath the mic.
I said, I've never heard that saying.
Not that one, you fool.
I've never heard that saying before. I mean, I understand it, but I think maybe it's a West Coast, or
No, dude.
I just didn't get
Come
out.
on, I heard that
I
one
don't
in
get out
Texas.
a lot, you know.
I don't get out a lot, you know. I don't drive.
Except driving cross country, you know.
Yeah, no big deal.
Been a couple weeks.
Your shower curtain's a tree.
Yeah.
I have like a shower curtain that's a tree, but it's a dead tree. Your guys is a lively tree. Just an
Wow.
observation.
Interesting.
It's kind of fun.
Dude, funny.
It's fate.
And you know what
how
else?
We were parked next to each
Yeah,
other.
that was weird too.
That was weird too. Well, also people just running. Yeah, coincidences. But also the thing that we were talking about, like we are willing to meet each other, you know, and hang out, and you're willing to come over to my house. It's not every day, right?
Yeah.
Somebody's over there like, hey, you want to come over? Like, you know what I mean? People have their. I get the skepticism, you know, and you want to be safe.
Yeah.
But at the same time, even though you like someone might check out, a lot of times people are not willing to go and take that leap of faith and actually get to know somebody.
And that's kind of how I saw it in the moment when you're like, hey, you want to come over record? Like immediately, like I feel like everybody's first reaction is just to be scared, be like, what's going on? What's his angle? You know what I mean? But like, you guys just seem very approachable, and then you walked in there and talked to that other guy, and you're like, hey, you want to come over to a podcast? Like, it's weird to just accept the fact that there are friendly people out there who just want to, you know, just to get to know people and do
that's
stuff.
Why I love
like,
Jordan, dude. Jordan and I talk about that often, like
Oh,
just
yeah, you should meet Jordan.
just like, yeah, dude, Jordan's cool, but like just like good people just wanting to do good things, and just because that ends up becoming your reality.
Yeah.
Right? The things that you do are your environment.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like that day that I met Jordan, you know, I told you that he was I didn't even think I finished telling the story, but he was the very last person that I went up to
Yeah.
do a podcast. And I don't know, I was just like, hey, just like, he was just playing there. I was like, cool, is that original? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, nice, dude, I have a bunch of recording equipment, you want to come do a podcast and record? And he was like, yeah. That's how long it took him, just like you.
Yeah.
You know? But that's it, just him out of I don't know how many musicians I asked. And you would think that musicians would want to record.
Yeah.
I always dreamt of that when I was a teen.
Uh-huh.
You know, and now I'm doing it for other people just because it's...
Someone just walks up and be like, hey, you want to
do.
record? And you're like, I don't know. It's like this
Yeah.
free thing. Like
I don't know. Personally, I don't think I would turn that down. Somebody came up to me and I didn't have the skill or the recording equipment.
It's funny that you approached me with that too, because I've been thinking, I'm like, man, I want to record that song, you know, like,
Nice.
I don't want it to be a hit or anything, but like I've just
want to
been
have it tangible.
tangible definition, please.
Something physical, like a hard copy or just something you can reference.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I wanted. Like rather than a cell phone video, because that sounds like shit. Like I'm listening to this, and like we're just kind of fucking around getting the levels right, and I'm like, this sounds awesome. Like this is what I wanted.
Glad you like it.
Yeah.
I like but like I said, I like what I do, and that's why I don't like involving the money part. I absolutely know it's gonna ruin it. You know,
Yeah.
and I'm already kind of like fucking myself over when I am thinking about selling my songs. I felt like I can't write songs or keep doing what I'm doing when I'm too worried about selling them.
Yeah.
So like that's why like now more so, my family's been asking me like, oh, why aren't you trying to like make a CD and sell it? You know, like other people do. But that's just what they see other people do. That's not what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because I just found out. I realized. I came to the realization that it doesn't work for me. I can't keep writing if I'm too worried about if I'm gonna be able to sell it or not.
You know, that's a funny thing, because like I haven't been in like I've been a musician for 6 years, you know, playing guitar, but I haven't actively like started writing like lyrics and stuff that I don't know, writing lyrics specifically. Like I'm writing for this band, and I just feel like, oh, you know, what are people gonna like? Like originally it started, I was like, I'm gonna write this because I want to, and then I got into the band and I was like, oh, you know, I guess I'm writing for a band now. Then I'm like, okay, what are people gonna like? What would sell? Like that mentality started kicking in.
It does.
And so like it was so hard to combat that, and honestly that's why I bought the ukulele. That song you heard, like that's one of my favorite songs. It's so real to me. I wasn't thinking, how can I sell it? Like,
thank you for saying that, because now I'm even more happy that we're going to record it.
Yeah.
See, that's what I get out of it.
Yeah.
You know, because everybody asked me what recently or lately, or pretty much everybody, what do you get out of it? You know, you asked me that too.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
That's what makes me feel good, man.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that, like, I love this song, and I fucking comes from my heart, and that's why I do it.
And even if like, don't get me wrong, like I'll be straight up right now, like my mind was like, well, what if he tries to steal your songs? I'm just thinking like, well, he
It's
can steal
going
that
on the internet, so you can't.
Not even that, but like, well, if he steals it, that's one song I made, and if it was good enough to like sell and like make a bunch of money off of,
That's more important, right? The fact that you feel proud about something good that you made that's good, and more importantly than the money, like, fine, if this person steals my song, that's what I think too, dude.
Not only that, is I can make more. Like,
I don't copyright any of my songs. I've had many people tell me that that's stupid, but I don't see a need. Like, and ultimately, oh my God, here comes a pun. Ultimately, this great song trumps the money.
Yeah.
Not to go spin off into some other kind of.
I caught the Trump. Got it. Yeah.
Well, you can't not hear that word and
Yeah.
not have some sort of, I don't know, something fire off in your head.
Yeah.
Ideas. Well, you want to record it? Let's do it,
Fuck
dude.
yeah,
That
let's
way,
do
in
this.
case we have to do more than one take.